No, I just thought. No, I just thought we'd get it all ready. We'd sort of were down here Monday night and just got it set up and sort of left it plugged in. But
That's all.
righto, all right, well, stream's live by the look of it. We made a few adjustments on the computer, how it renders. We've sort of turned it off. It was doing it in software rather than utilizing the graphics hardware. So hopefully the video quality is a bit better. And I think we've lessened the load on the CPU. So the fans aren't, yeah, they're not blowing quite as hard as they were when we were down here on the weekend. I think it was roaring its head off. All right, you better bring. Okay, good evening. Welcome to Track Talk at Show Us Your Slots. A little bit different tonight, just myself, Anthony V, in the booth. Obviously, normally got Mikey with me, but as some of you know, he's out of the country at the moment. So I've been given the reins to come in tonight and host Track Talk. So I've got my producer here with me, and we're all set up. We're intending to do a review on a new product we've got here from Scale Auto, and then we might see what we can do with the technologies at hand and make a phone call, and then we'll carry on from there. So what we're looking at reviewing this evening was the Scale Auto motor tester. Some of you guys might have seen this new product hit the market, but just out of curiosity, before we get into that, is there we got a couple of people live with us at the moment, so thank you very much for joining in. As always, if you've got any questions as we go through, please let us know, and we can see what we can say. So I'm doing good, thanks, mate. This mighty mad slot cars have signed in this evening, so good to see you on board, guys. Thanks for tuning in. All right, I'll keep this going as best I could, as best I can. Brave new world of YouTube streaming and whatnot. It's all good fun. All right, well, maybe if my producer wants to flip over to the Scale Auto Motor Tester Deluxe, if we've got it here on the close-up view, hopefully we can all see that there. This is a new unit that's coming from Scale Auto. It's all about running in, testing motors, and analysing their performance, trying to find that good one. Nice little two-piece unit. in the main parts of it, there's the motor body and the unit that measures the RPM, and there's a number of different motor adapters, and it's quite versatile and good and easy to use. So what's in the box? Scale Auto have included a number of things here. I've got it all out and set up, as you can see. Firstly, we've got the motor tester, and as you can see there, I've got a motor already inserted in that one, ready to go. So we've got a motor unit there, and the voltage adjuster is just on the side here, gives the amps reading there as well. The motors and their adapters, and we'll get that in a moment, plug into the base there. The second part is the RPM unit. So this has got an OLED screen on this one. This one just runs on batteries, on AA batteries. I think somewhere in one of the boxes it says AAA, but it indeed runs on 3 AA batteries, and I think that's been covered elsewhere on there as well. Good battery life. So yeah, this guy runs on up to 12 volts. I think I've just got a 9-volt supply plugged into it tonight. It plugs in just on the side there. Now, just to keep in mind, that's a fairly standard DC socket. It's at a 2.5mm diameter on the inner one, as opposed to some of the other ones that got 2.1. So they're a bigger pin and socket. So, but they're a fairly common thing. You're bound to have something from an old modem or something like that would plug into there. So the power supply for this unit's not included. You need to supply that one yourself. So make sure you got the right plug. Build quality, nicely presented. They're a 3D printed design. They've got a nice sort of texture to it. They've obviously got a good quality 3D printer. It's got a sort of a good, nice finish, and it comes together quite well. Scale Auto have used multiple colours to match their branding colours. So obviously the white, the black, and their orange, which is their sort of signature colour. Rubber feet. So both these units have got the rubber mounts on them. They come in a little packet in the box. Important to put those on. If you've got a motor that's a little bit buzzy, it'll stop that unit walking around. And if you got them on that one as well, it sort of marries up the height. So that, and as we'll see in a moment when we bring it all together, how the sensor here lines up with the spinner on top of the motor. Also in the box, which is what we're doing first, these are all the motor adapters. So there's a number of different shapes here and configurations for the motor contact terminals. So that one's obviously they're on the side there. That one's for the terminals that come straight out of the end can. And so the 2 terminals are straight down. It's a much smaller motor, obviously, that one. So a bigger motor. So there's quite a number of different sized motor holders here, and they're color coded, so they're nice and easy to pick up and get going with. So, all right, I'll just have a pause for a moment. We've got a few other guys who've joined in. Well, we've got a few there. That's fantastic. So, thank you very much for joining in. That's great. So yeah, the motor adapters are there. And so just suit that. For that, there's also a couple of little L-shaped pieces that help support the motor when they go into their respective holders. And this one's already in there. I think we've got a little cheater 4 here. So you can see there, that's just in, and then these guys just slot in down the side there, and they just help hold that motor firmly in place. Then it's just a case of dropping on the motor spinner, the little hexagonal shaped thing with a reflective piece on it, and that then just inserts into there. USB-C style connector on these. It's not USB-C compliant. It's just using that as a convenient power adapter or plug and socket. So that's just into there. Motor units on. Now I think you'll probably see a little bit of flickering here. That's just a frame rate thing between the camera and the refresh rate on the OLED screen there. But that's nice and bright. It's nice and clear and crisp on there. Good and easy to read. From there, it's a matter of letting the knob up and setting the motor going. So So you can set it down. It's as low as 1.7 volts. It's drawing 30 milliamps. There, and you can turn it up. So obviously the little spinner on the top here needs to line up with the send receive pair there that pick up the reflection from the reflector on the hex of black, and then it's a silver side there. So, and you can let that sit there, and it'll obviously measure the performance of the motor, and you can have a listen to it and see if the revs pick up after time, knowing that that's running in. So um, that's what that's all about. This it controls the motors with a PWM signal in the voltage going into it. But it's got nice, easy adjustability. It's good and easy to set how fast you want that motor to go. You can see there it's running at about 7,300 revs at 2.5 volts. So it'd be just a case of putting a new motor in there, having a look at its settings, letting it run for a little bit, and see how it improves. So nice and easy to use, and give you an opportunity um, to check the motor and see how we go. Right, all right. Don't forget to put those rubber feet on. They really do help with controlling the vibration, and obviously, setting the heights. You can move the spinner up and down a little bit as well to make sure that you're getting a good alignment with the sensor on the RPM unit. Good battery life out of that one. I think I did a measurement. It runs on 3 AAAs on a set of alkalines. You should get lots of hours out of that. It was running at about 40 milliamps. So if anybody wants to do the maths on their battery capacity, go for it. But it was about a 40 milliamp draw on that. But of course, don't forget to turn it off. Otherwise, you will drain the batteries if you let it sit in the box for a week. Just remember to flick that one off. Fairly simple and straightforward to do. But there's no auto power down or anything like that I saw. And we just pop it back on, and it'll just go through. I think we've got a nice little logo on the screen there, as you might be able to see. It's a bit flicky. Excellent. It's a nice unit to give you some testing and understanding. We might have a question. Does the unit come with decent instructions? Tom, no, there was no paperwork in the box. So it was just a matter of getting hold of that one, working out that, and finding the power adapter to plug into the motor unit. As I said, I had to try a couple because a couple that I tried had the smaller center pin, and so it wouldn't plug in. And this runs a DC socket that has a 2.5 millimeter center pin. There is adapters from the likes of J-Car and things like that will adapt your 2.1 millimeter power supply plug to the 2.5 millimeter plug that matches the socket on this unit. That's something that probably would have been nice if it was detailed in a little bit of an instruction sheet in the unit. Otherwise, it's reasonably self-explanatory. There might be some other reviews on that. On the battery insertion was fairly straightforward, so we might as well cover this now. Just got the 4 brass screws in the corners here. It was just those, and off it came. And there's a little 3 AA battery holder just inside there. So to access the batteries is just 4 screws. We're all going to have a Phillips or a cross-headed screwdriver in our slot car boxes, so that shouldn't be too much of a drama to get into that one. So that's fairly straightforward. You turn it on, away you go. So it's pretty hard to get that wrong. There's no need to open that unit. There's obviously 4 screws as well. Just see that motor move there a little bit. We'll move you back in board. Took me just a moment to look and have a study of these guys, and understand that you've got the USB style connector on there that marries up with the socket. If I get the light in there, marries up with a socket in there. So the USB-C sockets are known to be good, reliable socket that for that frequent plugging in, plugging out sort of thing. So there should be some good longevity out of that socket without any concerns there. So yeah, nice and easy to use. The other thing I had to just work out was a bit of a study of the two spinners. There was two spinners. One has a slightly smaller hole than the other. The one with the white on it I found was suitable for most of the motors I had in my slot car box. There must be some motors out there with a slightly smaller shaft. And from there, it was just a matter of, I looked at the two little brackets and L pieces and wondered what they were all about. But it became apparent you've got the recesses in each of these motor mounts, whether they and where they just tuck in down the side there. So hopefully that makes that nice and clear. Was there any other questions? We do have another question there, and certainly that was the is we're going to talk about in a moment. Just another question there, and I think we've had a comment there that the Scale Electric slim can motors use the 1.5mm shaft. Mighty Mad Slot Cars say, hey, Ninko, as well with the waves, so I'll take that as meaning that the one with the yellow reflector is for the Scale Electric slim cans and the Ninkos. And somebody's commented just over to just over 200. Indeed, $208 is the retail on these guys. Mike's got a number of these in stock, ready to go. So that's the box. In case you wonder what the box looks like, come nicely packaged. I've got a screwdriver in there, but could be a bit of foam packing in there, and the rubber feet come in a little bag. Wasn't doing an unboxing as such, but that's sort of what we've got in there. But it's relatively easy to drop your unit back into that to keep it all together and put that on the shelf on your slot car bench and keep it all together, ready for the day you need to use it. But yeah, $208, good value, and gives you a good secure way. The motors are sitting there quite well, as you can see. They're not sort of falling out, so seems to work pretty well. I've only used it for a little short-term test, but reasonably impressed with what I've seen there. It seems to come to bring it all together quite nicely. If there's any further questions, comment there. Looks a solid build. It is a good, nice, solid build. There's no doubt about that. It's nice. It's got a good feel to it. It's got a little bit of texture, so it's not slippery or anything like that. But yeah, really, I think it looks quite smart. I like the way they've done the multi-color filament printing for the 3D printing process that they've used to manufacture the boxes. So that's a fair bit of that. I think we've given that a fair go. So the other part we're going to do this evening is we're going to bring in a guest. He's not in the studio, but you guys, I'm sure, love to hear from Mike, and I believe we've got him on the line. And we'll just transition over it here in a moment. I need to go to my headphones so that I can hear him. And we've got you on the line, Mike. The sound I can hear you, so we'll just transition over to live in Bali. Are you still in Denpasar, or have you moved on a little bit somewhere?
No, I've been in Sanur all the time, so I'm just in Sanur, which is just outside Denpasar. So that's where I've been from start to finish.
Yeah, very good.
So I've got a few more days. Yeah. So bit of a trip. Needed a bit of a break as well, so Amanda and I got away for a while. And as some of you already know, I also came here and spent quite a few days getting some dental work done because it's cheaper here than Australia. So bit of a holiday and a bit of a saving at the same time.
Very good. Makes a wise idea to save $1 where you can. So somebody's commented there that we'll phone a friend. Well, here you go. Good to see you, Mike. It's great to hear you've been having a good holiday and Hope you've been getting out and seeing the sights and sounds of the
Yeah,
area.
we have been. We've been a bit of here, there, and everywhere, as in between like my dental appointments and bits and pieces. Yeah, one of the things we wanted to do was, as people who know me, I'm always sort of keeping slot cars at the front of my mind at all times. So I actually, because I'm a bit addicted to stuff, I brought a slot car set with me to Bali.
Very good. Well, there was a little bit of work done prior to see if we could find a track or something like that, but there wasn't a track to be found, it seems. So we improvised, and you've taken your own.
Yeah, so pretty much we did a bit of research, try and find any slot car centres, whether it was a private home or anything in around the Bali area, and just kept coming up blank everywhere. And when I got here as well, talking to people had never seen them, didn't know what it was, and really didn't understand the whole slot car aspect over here in Bali. So I thought I'd change that. And so originally we're planning on bringing a digital set over, but unfortunately I did get let down a little bit with the supply of controls and stuff that I needed before I was setting out. So in the end, I just finished up taking an Evolution set. I didn't see the point in taking a digital set if there were only 2 controllers. And I didn't know what kind of response I was going to get either when I got here with it. So I believe you got a bit of a video there, Anthony.
Well, we do have a video of where this track has been put into use and introduce some people to the world of slot cars. So that'll just transition over now as the producer clicks a button.
All
So
right.
talk us through this one, Mike.
Basically, yeah, so I'm actually in a science lab there in a local school. So it's a school in Sanua, and it is Sanua's independent school. So that school's been running for quite a long time, since '97. Ages 3 up to 14, basically in that school. We were lucky to just catch them because when we arrived at the school, the guys were in exams and they'd just finished the exams on that day. And when we arrived, all the kids were all basically had left early for the day as well. So we just caught them at the last minute. The principal there was, she was nice and welcoming. She welcomed us in. I explained what I had, and I said it was a donation. So we got to work with the kids and started to set the track up in their science lab. So we had a bit of fun. The kids jumped in straight away to do that. And they picked it up pretty quick and were straight away hands-on, wanting to connect their track up, and they were pretty excited about it all. And so it was really good to see the students there jumping on board with that. So they were basically captivated by the way the track worked and how it all went together. And yeah, just everyone jumped in. We had a bit of fun at first because it didn't quite fit on the bench they gave us. So then we moved it onto another bench and we had problems with the power supply. So I finished up having to swap some of the track pieces off to move the power supply closer to a plug point, which you'll see in the video was a bit of a disaster because the start line then went straight into a crossover. So we swapped it because we couldn't reach the power to where it was originally. I've got to say, I have actually been back to the school today and reconfigured the track for the kids to move that crossover from the start line. So it was a bit of a panic situation yesterday when we were doing it, and we were moving it from table to table. But as you can see, the kids jumped on it, absolutely loved it, and it was just they'd never seen anything like it. As I said, most of the kids had left for the day, but there were a handful still there, and we got in there and just put it all together. So as soon as we got that track, they were straight onto it with the controllers. They got the Mario Kart one that I took over, so that's the cars they had there. There's a couple of other cars there I did take as well. So so we had a couple of cars there that they could use in place of those. But absolutely great to see, just to see the smile on the kids' faces and something completely different. The school was just overwhelmed that we took the time to carry something like that over for them. And it'll be interesting to catch up with them at a later date to see cars coming up the track, to see how they're going with it and what interest it's had. So, you know, they're already talking about moving it to a different area so that the cars can't fall off the bench. I'm not sure whether it were the kids or the principal which was more excited, to be honest, at some points during the afternoon. But yeah, just shows the SLotz has introduced Bally to slot cars.
I can certainly see they seem to be having a fantastic time. That crossover on the, could you imagine that? They can be bad enough at the post corner in 6 lanes, and straight into a crossover.
But originally, you see, the crossover was just before the start line on the opposite side of it.
Yeah, okay.
And as I say, the power cable wouldn't reach to where they needed it, and they had no extensions or anything with them. The only thing I took with me was the adapters to change over to their own sort of plug that they use. So after we'd moved the track around the room about 3 times, and then we tried spinning it around the opposite way, but then the controller wires were leaning across the track. I just came up with the idea, let's just swap these pieces over to move the power supply. But yeah, an afterthought was, because we had to reduce the track slightly as well. I've been in today, took it out and just put a straight in place of that one crossover.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, but great to see them using it, and yeah, definitely be interesting to see, you know, what feedback we get from them. So I'm hoping to keep in touch with them a little bit, and see how they go with it.
Yeah, well, you never know. We might have started a weekly club racing scene in Bali. So I've got a few people commenting there saying very cool. Demolition at the start, indeed. Yeah, nice.
It pretty much was, yeah.
And Ninko saying, yeah, well, amazing thing to do, Mike. So well done, sir, is the comments we've got there on the YouTube chat. But just pause maybe there for a second, and I think the guys just have a moment to talk here. So we might just have a listen to what they have to say here.
Yeah, shows this.
All right. Well, hopefully that went out. I couldn't hear them talk on the way.
I couldn't hear it myself at this end, but
hopefully
yeah, but I'm not on.
Made it out on the stream. Yeah.
Let us know, guys. Those that are watching on YouTube, if they could actually hear that video then or not.
I've got a nod from the producer. He's that went out. So, but yeah, certainly anybody else. Hopefully
it's a pretty pop broadcast today. You know, we've got you over there, me over there. You've got your own producer in. Hey.
Well, I'm glad to have the producer here tonight. There's just normally with the two of us here, I sort of do a little bit of work on the computer, but it's nice to hand that off to my son. He's been kind enough to give us some of his time, and
yeah, much appreciated as well, William. Thank you.
Thanks, William. Yeah, I appreciate you doing that for us. So. But yeah, that's a great thing. So hopefully we start to see maybe even see a Facebook channel with weekly postings from some school kids in Bali and their racing exploits.
Yeah, next thing is find a company that can build them a good timber track
and export it to Bali, I guess.
Well, I'll get the Bali guys to build it.
Okay, righto.
So. Just wanted to let you know what we're doing. We're not just sat here doing nothing as usual or anything like that. As usual, we're out there, we're sort of promoting the hobby.
Yep.
It was nice to see. But thank you, Anthony, for tonight. I'll let you get back to. I know you've got a few other bits and pieces there you want to carry on with.
Well, I've just got a couple of things we'll finish up with, and so thanks for joining in, Mike. I think we've actually managed to survive. The connection stayed solid. A couple of little dropouts there, I think, but I think it's gone all right.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Well done, guys.
No worries. All right. Well, we'll see you when you're back. I think it's early next week when you're back in the country.
Yeah, be back in the country for should be there for racing Tuesday night.
Okay, cool. We'll see you then.
All right, I'll catch you later. Thanks, everyone.
All right, well, it's back to me now. You might just bring up the homepage for Show Us Your Slots. Thanks, William. Obviously, always plenty of things going on here. Don't forget, we've got the Revo Slot National Championships in a little bit later this year. There's a countdown timer on Mike's webpage, and it's telling me 78 days, 11 hours, 31 minutes, and 38 seconds to the start of that. So those of you guys into Revo Slot racing, fantastic event. The Nationals Knife's been hosting here for the last few years. It's got some good numbers already there. Always welcome to see old and new faces turning up for that one. So book in with Mike. There's entries on his webpage, showusslots.com.au. Sign in there and make yourself known. Is there any final questions? Just obviously there's a bit of an outgoing lag on the YouTube feed. High fives all around. Thank you very much. Worked fine. Sound was great. And why not? So that's that one. I was just also going to touch briefly. I think other new products out at the moment. I think these have been selling pretty well. Haven't got much. I can show the graphics. I won't do it. This is not a review. The NSR Hypercar. Can you go to a picture of the car? Apparently, these guys have been selling well. These a new design from NSR, so that's a new thing to have a look out for. As you might have seen from the previous screen, maybe just flick back to that motor page. Quite an innovative new design in the motor pod there from NSR, their motor support. So be very interesting. Don't say I've seen one go around the track here yet, but I'm sure that one of the guys, if not myself, will have one of them shortly and give that a go. But otherwise, yeah, you've got your NSR Super Grit tyres. They tend to work quite well around here. Similar rims to some of the other ones and other setup, but yeah, all new innovative design in that body chassis and in the motor pod. Well, the other thing I was going to mention this evening, some of you guys are into the race software, such as Race Coordinator. That's what we use here. There is an opportunity for you to have an input into the next version of Race Coordinator. The Dave over in the UK had decided some time ago that the current Race Coordinator 1, as it's known, is not going to be updated any further. It's based on technology from 15 years ago. It's backwards compatible with, back to Windows 7 XP and things like that. It's become very difficult for him to continue releasing software updates in that system that it's in. Race Coordinator 2.0 has long been mentioned, and on the forums, Slot Forum online is a place where there's quite an active Race Coordinator community. And indeed, development of Race Coordinator 2 is known as Race Coordinator AI. Dave's developing this with Google Anti-Gravity and obviously the tools of AI that are available to him as a software developer. And it's being rebuilt from the ground up. So there is an opportunity for slot car racers who care about their software and are looking for features maybe they haven't had in Race Coordinator or some of their other packages. You can have a say on the forums. As I said, there's an active forum for Race Coordinator on a forum page called Slot Forum. If you need a link, I haven't got it set up here ready to go tonight, but you can reach out and we can put you in touch. And if you're indeed a software developer, there's an active, the code is available on Git. There's a Git for it. And those of you in the know will know what that is. where you can actually dive in and help actually develop hands-on the code. As I said, he's writing in an anti-gravity, and those in the know will know what that is. So it's a software integrated development sort of environment for designing software. I think that was a fair bit of what I was looking to cover tonight. I think we've had a successful cross, which was the main sort of focus of the evening. So I'm really glad that's gone well, and it's great to see Mike over there and enjoying his time out of the country, but also promoting slot cars. So if there's any last questions, I'm happy to answer those, or just give you a moment to post anything there. But as always, really appreciate you guys tuning in. We're sort of having a lot of fun with our Track Talk segment. It's a adventure for us just to put some technology to use that we have, some cameras and microphones and things like that. So we enjoy putting the effort in and thoroughly appreciate having an audience to talk to. All right. Well, again, looks like we're all pretty good there. So yeah, really appreciate you all tuning in to Show Us Your Slots Track Talk. So for myself tonight, Anthony, and thanks for Mike for tuning in earlier. We'll see you all in the next episode.